Hello everyone, my name is Asmita Mainali and this video is going to help you prepare for the F1 student visa interview, and this video will be the first video in the series of videos I will be creating to help students prepare for the interview. Let's get started. So why do you want to study in USA, or why USA? This is one of the most commonly asked questions during the student visa interview at the embassy, and I want you to prepare really well for this. While you are preparing your answers for this question, I want you to consider a few things. The first one is keep your answers relevant to your major. I will explain this to you by using an example here. So if you have a look at these two examples, I consider one of the answers a good answer and another an irrelevant or a generic answer. If you have a look at the first answer, you will see points like I want to study in US because of renowned universities, diverse academic programs, vibrant campus life, innovative teaching methods, ample research opportunities, multicultural environment. I see these points a lot when I take the mock interviews of the students. And while these answers are true and good, but these are not the best answers that you can tell to the visa officer. The reason is these answers can be told by any student going for any major. So I want you to keep your answers relevant to your major. How to do that? Let's have a look at the second example. So when you look at the second example, the answers are prepared based on the major, and that's more effective. So the answer here is I chose US because I consider it to be perfect for a degree in chemistry, because US focuses a lot on research and experiments, and my university will also allow me to do an undergraduate research in chemistry, through which I can go to the laboratories, do my experiments and learn from the field, and I'm sure that that will help me be a great scientist one day. So that's the reason I chose USA for my education. See, the second answer is much more relevant to your major, and that's definitely a more effective answer. I hope you have understood point number one. Now let's jump to point number two. The second point that you have to consider while you are preparing for the US visa interview is your answers must reflect the research you have done. What do I mean by that? So visa officer wants to know whether you are genuinely interested in studying, or do you just want to enter USA and work there or never come back, right? So in order to prove that your intention is to study and genuinely study, you must have done a proper research about the country, about your major, about the university and all. So in your answers, the research must be reflected. I'll give you a few examples. One of the points that you could include can be, I realize that the agricultural studies in US focuses a lot on sustainability and organic farming, and that's something I'm very much interested in. So when you say points like this, it reflects that you have done some research about how the education is delivered in the USA or what the focus is. Another example of the same thing can be, while I was researching, I found that Silicon Valley is the hub for technology and research, and as a computer science student, I would love to get the exposure from such a competitive environment. So that's one of the reasons why I chose this country, or anything as such. So you must figure out the important things. You must do your research and come up with things that can only be found when you do the research. So include those kind of things in your answers. So that's point number two. Include your findings from the research in your answer. At the end of this video, I will also be giving you a sample answer, which will further help you to understand how to develop your answer. But let's discuss the third point first. The third thing that I want you to remember when you are preparing for the student visa interview is do not add a lot of difficult vocabularies just to make your answers sound better. Why? Because that will not be you. That will not be you speaking naturally. So I'll again explain this to you by using an example. Let's have a look at the first example. I chose to pursue my bachelor's degree specializing in marketing in the USA because it's home to some of the world's leading marketing firms and top-notch education institutions. Being immersed into the dynamic environment will provide me with invaluable hands-on experience and exposure to cutting-edge marketing strategies. While this answer might sound really good when you are presenting it, but when you are presenting, you will not be yourself. because you'll have to focus on, oh, I'm using that big word when I will be answering, and you will be focusing on that. And also, when we normally have a conversation with somebody, we do not use such words. We do not use words like cutting-edge marketing strategies or dynamic environment, top-notch education. Use simpler words that will help you to convince the visa officer better. One of the example of a simpler answer can be, I wish to be a businesswoman and develop a global business based on Nepal. So going to US can help me learn about the best business companies in the world. And a lot of universities also has on-campus business clubs, which will allow me to learn from the field, do my experiments, and get some valuable skills related to marketing, accounting, finance, and mostly business. So I consider the second answer to be a better answer because that's more of a that's the answer which is simpler, easy to understand, and you can clearly present your plans with the help of the second answer. So this was the third thing that I want you to consider when you will be preparing for the student visa interview. So these three are the major things that I want you to consider. Now I will be providing you with a sample answer, which I consider to be a very good answer that was prepared by a student, and that can even be helpful for you to prepare. Let's see this. Let's say you are going to pursue a master's degree in business. Then this is an answer that can be a good sample answer for you. I chose to study in US because I'm specifically interested in learning about branding and marketing aspect of the business. And US, in my opinion, is the best place to learn about building a global business because it has some of the best business companies in the world. And I will also get an opportunity to visit different businesses and business companies as a part of my field work. Apart from that, I got to know through my research that US has the highest number of entrepreneurs in the world. So it will definitely help me get that exposure, meet business-minded people, and I'm sure it will help me a lot to be a great businesswoman one day. Yeah, so this answer is something that I consider to be a good answer because that is very much relevant to your major, and that explains your plans as well. And that's simple, easy to understand, uses day-to-day common vocabularies, and that's a good way to answer the question. So yes, in this video we discussed the way of answering the question, why USA? I really hope it was helpful to you, and if you will be having any questions related to your F1 visa interview, then you can comment down below and I will be happy to reply to your comments. Okay, thank you so much for watching and all the best for your US visa interview.